It's time I gave you my final verdict on the Boox Note Air4 C. This is the latest color e-ink tablet from Boox. This device will change the way that you think. Commit to it for reading, annotating, and writing, and you won't regret it. Now, I test things in depth by actually using them for work. I am a teacher, I'm a working professional, and I use these as my planner at work and for a whole host of other productivity tasks as well. Now, Boox tablets are not the easiest things to learn. I've kind of forgotten the learning curve myself, but I'll just say that if this is your first Android tablet, then you might find it a little bit much at first. But if you've used a Boox tablet, or if you're really comfortable on the Android operating system, then that learning curve will be shallower. But a lot of people are after these not as an alternative to an iPad, not as a replacement for what they already do on their phone, but as a replacement for paper and pencil, a digital notepad on which you can get all of your thinking done. And the nice thing about it being Android is it just ties into all of your existing workflows. For me, the Note Air series is a real winner in the Boox lineup. It's a sweet spot for size, for features, and for the build quality. Boox keeps on improving their software, and you can count on regular updates here. In this version 4.0 of their software, we've got some cracking new features. For example, you can now make tables of contents within your notebooks, which I think is absolutely brilliant. It's the classic design of the Note Air series. It's an all aluminium build with some pro features that we've come to expect from this series now. A fingerprint reader, the Wacom EMR pen, and the case is really one of the standout features because it stands up into vertical mode and makes it perfect for pairing with a Bluetooth keyboard, and it just makes it a perfect writer's workspace. And that's the first reason to recommend it over the other Boox tablets that are out there. The Tab Ultra C, for example, is a productivity powerhouse, but it's a poor note taker, and the Go 10.3, that's the opposite. But this Note Air4 C will do both, and when you're finished in that kind of productivity mode, then it transforms into an amazing note taker, and vice versa, of course. And the star of the show, and the real reason to go for this over the Go 10.3, is the color e-ink screen. And this is now the updated Kaleido free color e-ink screen. E-ink have managed to make it even clearer, whiter, and more responsive too. And I don't know why they didn't call it Kaleido 4, because there is a noticeable difference in this improved Kaleido free screen. The front light is improved as well, and so now you can really use it in all lighting conditions, and the front light is one of the most even and the whitest that I've seen in an e-ink tablet of this size. That's not an easy feat to achieve. Boox have improved the internals in this generation as well, with an improved octa-core processor, a bit more RAM, and that's just making apps quicker to load. It's making moving between apps that bit smoother. It's impressive, at least for an e-ink device it is. It's also upgraded to Android 13, which has come with a bit of an issue, I think. The core use case of this device and other e-ink tablets is reading, annotating, and writing, and it excels in each of those. I personally have been a bit disappointed with the performance in the Notes app whilst I've been using this. It's fine for as much handwritten text as you can actually fit onto the screen, but once you've got many marks made on it, for example in drawing, and if you're using the more complex pen tools like the pencil with pressure and tilt sensitivity, it really does slow down and it becomes actually unusable at that point. Boox, we really need a fix for that, because it wasn't happening on the previous generation with the Android 12. And so the nice thing about a Boox tablet, which is that you can find your own use case, is kind of taken away, because my personal use case for e-ink has evolved massively. I still am enjoying doing productivity apps, like I'm reading off OneNote here, which is synced obviously with all my other devices that I use. I can use it to record my voice into an app like Otter, which is my AI transcriber that I use all the time. And of course I can get all of the different apps that I want to use for work, all the Microsoft suite, and I can use AI powered apps like ChatGPT here natively on the device. But I also love to draw in it, and that Notes app is really holding me back from loving drawing on the Note Air4 C. I was so excited about using the improved color, and yeah, it was a non-starter, so check out my video on that if you want to share with me my frustration in that experience. So should you buy one? Well, if you've got the Note Air3 C, I don't think this is enough of a leap forward. But if you are considering a color e-ink device, then the Note Air4 C is undoubtedly the market leader in, well, certainly the full Android with Google Play enabled devices. But of course, there are some things to keep in mind, and the first thing is battery life. That snappier processing, that amazing look of the screen comes from the Boox Super Refresh technology. And unfortunately, that does eat up the battery faster. So you are talking something like hours of use, and people got a bit confused when I said hours. And I mean, yeah, a couple of full days of work, like 20 hours of use maybe, but not full days of use like you get on, for example, the Go 10.3 or probably the battery life king at the minute, the Kindle Scribe. But Boox have improved the standby battery performance in a recent update, which is good to see. And of course, one of the key benefits of e-ink tablets, apart from the great e-ink screens, which are readable in all different lighting conditions and really easy on the eyes, is that you can expect week-long battery lives. And it is a really nice, liberating experience to be able to charge your tablet at the weekend and just forget about the battery all week. You don't get that experience here on the Note Air4 C, unfortunately. But it's important that we're realistic about what we can expect battery lives to be like on tablets like this. If you use the built-in reading app, then you can expect great battery life because it's only having to update the screen every page turn. So you get eReader like battery life. But if you use Android apps, then you're going to expect Android tablet-like battery life, as the tablet is still going to be refreshing the screen like 15 times a second. And while the colors are better now on the improved Kaleido Free, they still aren't in line with what you get on the gallery-free technology on the Remarkable Paper Pro. Some colors, especially the yellows and the reds, they really don't pop quite as much. But I do think the blues and greens are now looking really quite good on here. So if color is your main thing, and especially reading in color, then you might want to look at something else, for example, the Remarkable Pro with the Gallery 3 screen. However, colors on here don't need to flash to render like they do on the Gallery 3. And so that makes it make a lot more sense for using apps. And then there's the price. At $500, this is quite an investment. And you have to ask yourself, is it really worth the bit of extra money over the Go 10.3? Especially if you're mostly reading and writing in black and white. And the Go 10.3 at $380 is one of the best deals in all of e-ink. And it's true that for many of you at $500, it might well be best to invest in an iPad. It just depends what are you wanting to do on the tablet. So be realistic and consider your use case before you dive in and buy this. If you found this video about this great e-ink tablet, then you probably aren't looking for a new iPad, are you? Probably the latest generation of iPad just doesn't do any more than you need to do, and you can currently do on your 5-year-old iPad Pro that's sitting on your shelf. That's the situation for me, at least. And the latest iPad probably doesn't do that much more than what you're already happy to do on your phone. But the e-ink tablet, now that's a place for thinking. An e-ink tablet is a place where you're going to intentionally select which apps you'll need when you're in work mode, or when you're in a creative mood or a playful mood, or when you're just feeling calm and reflective. And on here, you're going to work on your ideas in quiet, reflective isolation with a pen on electronic ink. And you're going to grow as a person. That's why you're interested in this category of device. And this, the Note Air4 C, is one of the very tip of the top for doing just that. The Note Air4 C is a solid choice if you want a versatile e-ink tablet that can do it all. It's good for work, it's good for fun, but have a think about the battery life, the colors, and the price to see if this is really the right fit for you. And I recently asked my audience which of these two great ink tablets you should buy, and the Go 10.3 won it by the narrowest of margins. It was 52% to 48%. There were over 1,000 votes. So clearly both are satisfying a lot of use cases for a lot of people. And incidentally, when I ask my audience between the Remarkable Paper Pro and Boox tablets, that normally comes out about 2/3 in favor of Boox. Now I know that's quite unscientific, and that's quite a self-selected group of e-ink aficionados who are here on my channel, but those are probably the 3 e-ink tablets to be considering at the moment. The Go 10.3, perfect black and white tablet, the Note Air4 C, color Android tablet, and the Remarkable Paper Pro. If you don't need the Android features and you do want some color in your life. So do let me know your thoughts and your comments underneath the video. It's really useful if you've got any experience with Boox tablets. It's really useful for you to share that for other people who are maybe considering to buy their first one. And on the screen here are my 2 full reviews of the 2 other tablets I've been talking about a bit in this video, the Remarkable Paper Pro and the Go 10.3. Because if you've decided you want an e-ink tablet, you are correct, you do, and it's probably one of those 3.